controversy. You could be that selective on what cut you stop the fight with. Of course, the man in charge of taking care of the cut, real good cut man, Joe Souza, in the corner of Gatti. Hutchinson standing in front a little too much. But he's handling him, he's blocking him. He is. He should use those legs, go around Gatti, not allow Gatti to get set to punch.
Hutchinson bounced the right hand in there.
Hutchinson's going to have a chance to punch inside some of these wide shots. Gatti, they are wide.
Right. Good right hook by Gatti.
Gatti's coming in there with his head a little bit. A little frustrated, I believe Gatti is. His homecoming, I think everybody around him told him it was going to be easy. All of a sudden, there's some problems. I think he's a little bit frustrated.
All right, Russell Peltz, our boxing coordinator and the guy who works with the commissions, has informed me if they stop the fight because of the cut on the right eye that was ruled a butt in the last round, they would go to the cards after we get through this fourth round. If they stop the fight because of the left eye that was ruled a punch, Hutchinson's going to win by TKO. So you can pick the cut.
Well, guess where my money is if they have to pick a cut?
I'll say the right eye. Now Hutchinson hit with a low blow. He's going to get time. That left eye of Gatti is brutal. That left eye of Gatti, I guarantee you that if that was, the referee would have ruled out an accidental clash of heads, that left eye, they would have stopped this fight. Only because he sort of quietly said it was a punch, are they allowing this thing to go. That's a brutal cut.
Look for Hutchinson to have chances to punch in between here. Low blow again.
Going to lose a point. It's about the third time he's been warned.
What's that saying? Best laid plans?
That's pretty low. As low as he's going to get.
Would have been more controversy if that punch that came from Gatti as the referee was stepping in there landed clean and hurt Hutchinson. Well, Hutchinson's fighting the way Gatti would want him to fight. He's standing right in front of him. He mentioned about the weight sizing this fight up. The advantage is early. If the man stands in front of you, you're stronger. The disadvantage to put all that weight on is that you can tire. Bringing your weight down, drying out the way Gatti had to dry out to make that weight, Bob. If it becomes a competitive, contested fight, the advantage becomes a disadvantage. Gatti can start to tire.
A lot of subplots. Gatti's eyes are both cut. He's lost a point for a low blow here in round 4. A mess. Left eye, round 2 from a punch. The referee, though, when he realized that he called it from a punch, if they would have stopped it, Hutchinson would have won on TKO. He sort of very quietly let it be known it was from a punch. The cut on Gatti's right eye came from the clash of heads a round later. I tell you, I mean, that cut is just incredible.
We're not going out on the limb to say that in most places, this fight would have been stopped. With the severity and the ugliness of that cut.
Well, we talked about Arturo yesterday, and you heard about it in the main event setup piece. He's one of the few guys in boxing, Tyson, De La Hoya, who's marketable when he uses draw.
He's very wide with all punches here. There's going to be opportunities if Hutchinson can hang in there to punch inside, do more than just make Gatti miss. Start doing what he's doing there, score.
Well, in the last round, even if you gave it to Gatti, you take the point away from the low blow.
Punches are coming, but they're coming wide. Again, Hutchinson's concentrating on blocking and making a miss. He's going to have chances to start concentrating on offense, too. And of course, he's going to have to do this like that to win this fight.
Wouldn't you try to just get after that cut any way you can? I mean, Hutchinson's a lefty. Pop that jab out. Just aim for that cut. Well, Arturo Gatti has had a Rocky-like career in the respect that he's always been in these wars. Cut, bloody, down.
There's a couple things that Gatti has against him. The punches he's taken in those tough fights and the weight that he's taken off to come down from such a high weight, 180 pounds, 175 pounds from all the reports, to come down to now 147 pounds. That can really hurt you for the future and for now. And it can lead to you getting cut easier. The skin stretches and then it comes back. And it makes it much easier to cut that skin.
Well, Hutchinson wanted to get this thing into the later rounds. Felt he could bust Gatti up. He's done that. Now can he finish it? Nice combination from Hutchinson. Gatti misses with that combination.
Gatti's surprised
but this
in his mind that the guy's still there.
Yeah. Maybe a little underestimation of Joe Hutchinson with the nondescript competition. Round 6 underway, Arturo Gatti. Joe Hutchinson from Montreal. Sold out Molson Center. Friday Night Fights on ESPN2, presented by Miller High Life. That's right, Joe Hutchinson is still here in round 6. Gatti was cut badly, left eye. Left eyelid in round 2 is ruled a punch. After a lot of discussion, they let the fight go on. They would have stopped it, Gatti would have been a loser. Cut in round 3 on the right eye, they say, from a clash of heads. And that's important, because if they stop the fight because of the right eye cut, they go to the cards. If they stop the fight because of the left eye cut, Hutchinson wins on TKO. Teddy's scorecard through 5. 48-47 Gatti. You have the last round even. I have it tied at 47. Remember, Gatti lost the point in round 4 for a low blow.
Down goes Hutchinson from a counter. One thing he's not heard, he's very clear. Actually, he was arguing with the ref that he slipped. We will be able to see later with the replay. But he definitely went down. There was a punch thrown.
I think he got hit and he was off balance more than anything else. But it was the force of a punch and he went down. And correctly, that should be scored a knockdown.
What Gatti can do now is, Hutchinson's so aware of those body shots. He's covering up so well. Gatti can sometimes fake to the body, try to sneak something up to the head. Maybe get the arm to drop a little bit.
Just one of the appeals of Gatti is he's so old school. The cuts and everything else. Shoots a right hand in there.
Hutchinson doing a good job of blocking, but I think he should use those legs a little bit more. Go around Gatti, not allow Gatti to get off. Gatti needs to be set to punch.
See Gatti wiping the blood away from that left eye. That's the really bad cut.
And Hutchinson, Bob, at some point, and that point is coming real fast, has to make a choice of doing more than just making Gatti miss. Got to start moving those hands in between those wide punches. And that was a wide punch right there. Now Hutchinson made it miss. He's got to start making a choice to punch inside and make Gatti pay if he wants to have a chance to win this fight.
I'm just thinking back about that cut on the left eye of Gatti when they brought the doctor over to take a look at it in the second round. Gatti's people actually started treating the cut. Remember they threw some adrenaline or Vaseline in there?
Of course, that's not supposed to happen. The referee should be in charge of that. The referee wants the doctor up to look at the cut of Gatti again.
Which cut, though? Can't be looking at the one on the right eye because that one seems to be in order. It's the left eye that's the bad one. Joe Sousa has basically stopped the bleeding from the right eye cut.
And of course, the left eye is the eye that if they did stop it because of that, the fight would then, of course, go to Hutchinson.
Yeah, because remember, that was from a punch. So they're going to do everything to make sure that that left eye is okay. Intriguing bout in Montreal.
From that angle, that punch didn't land. And that's why Hutchinson, as we said, just as it happened, was really challenging it to the referee.
Well, we need to see another angle.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? From that angle, obviously it didn't land to the head. But even if you land a shot to the chest and the guy goes down, it's a knockdown.
Yes, you're right.
So from that angle, out of respect for referee Michael Griffin, it's hard to tell. Looked like Hutchinson blocked it, but maybe it snuck through on the chest.
There's those wide punches to Gatti. Good job again by Hutchinson blocking, but he has the punch in between. Otherwise, he'll just be a good loser.
Well, Hutchinson has never lost. 18 wins, 2 draws. He was the smaller guy before the weigh-in, and even a smaller guy when they stepped in the ring. Hutchinson weighed in at just shy of 142 pounds. Gatti just made the 147.
Half of the fights that Hutchinson has had has been at junior welterweight. 11 of the 20 fights at 143 pounds or less.
Gatti warned for a low blow. Remember, he had a point deducted in round 4.
Funny, everyone talks about the size and the advantage of Gatti being big. He won his title at junior lightweight. Fought at most of his career there. And at lightweight. Now he's up at welterweight. And dries out, even at that weight, tremendously to make the weight, which can hurt him in tough, long fights. This fight is going longer now, but it's not tough, other than the cuts, because Hutchinson has not been punching enough, although he did in that spot.
Too few and far between from Hutchinson. There rips off the combination.
When Gatti goes defensive, you have a chance to really get your hands off, Bob, because he doesn't mix offense with defense too often. He does one or the other, and he gives you a chance to adjust the defense.
Can Hutchinson steal this round, Teddy? He's having a pretty good last 40 seconds.
I don't think he has to steal it. I think he's winning it right now.
Backs away from some Gatti power. Gatti willing to take, to give. Most of those punches missing despite the crowd's roar. Stayed underway, Arturo Gatti and Joe Hutchinson. Hutchinson knocked down in round number 6, although it was tough to see if it was really a scoring blow. It was not to the head, maybe it was to the chest. We didn't have a very good angle on it. Gatti cut left eye round 2 from a punch, although our replays show a headbutt, and then cut in round 3 on the right eye from a clash of heads.
Right now, Hutchinson has done what he wanted to do. He's in his fight, late in the fight, and he's confident right now. But is he confident to go the distance, or is it a confidence to try to win? That is what counts.
Well, Teddy, you mentioned it earlier. Guys don't like to give that O up. Hutchinson does not have a loss on his resume.
You can go after Gatti. Even though you have to be careful not standing in front, you can go after him when he goes on defense, Bob. He gives you those window of opportunities because he doesn't do offense and defense together. When he goes defensive, you can keep those hands moving. You can follow your man. Gatti will let you go on a run. And then before he comes back, you have time to know he's making the adjustment to offense. Head was coming in there with Hutchinson that time.
Now they're taking a point away from Hutchinson for a headbutt.
Pretty quick.
And that cut left eye of Gatti, that happened in round 2.
That point really hurts Hutchinson because he was having a good round here. As it's going now, it's going to wind up being an even round because he's winning this round, Hutchinson. But he could have won the round.
Gatti not doing much of anything here in round 8.
This is not what Gatti expected when he came home to Montreal with 20,000 people to fight Joe Hutchinson.
Hutchinson smothering most of those punches and blocking them.
He needs to punch inside. Not just survive, not just play good defense or good losing.
Remember the story here in round 8, a pretty good round for Joe Hutchinson, but a point deducted for a low blow. So even if you gave him the round, it's even.
Our flight's
9 in round 8. Hutchinson threw 14 more punches and landed 2 more than Gatti. But Hutchinson probably did not win the round because sure he didn't win the round. The question is whether he lost the round.
One thing I do
Point deducted for a low blow.
That's very sharp and astute on the side of Hutchinson is every time at the beginning of the round, Hutchinson comes out immediately and scores something to the head of Gatti, knocking the coagulant right off the cut of Gatti, where the cut can start bleeding again. In other words, Hutchinson does not allow the medicine that's put into those cuts in the corner, in between rounds, to stay in there for 30, 40, 50 seconds to start working. He knocks them right out. But he's got to continue doing that to win the round. In other words, if he wants to do more than just make Gatti bleed, he's got to be consistent with moving those hands.
Teddy's scorecard through 8 rounds, 76-74 Gatti. Average 75-74 Gatti. Each man has had a point deducted for a low blow. Hutchinson was down in the 6th, albeit not from a shot that landed to the head. Punch that maybe landed to the chest and he went down. It was ruled a knockdown. Good shot there by Gatti.
Hutchinson was throwing an uppercut from a little too far away. That left hook was able to get in.
Hutchinson steps back in with a combination.
Uppercuts are good punches with Gatti if you don't throw them from too far away. Throwing from too far away, that left hook of Gatti's has its gap to get in there.
Gatti's left eye a mess from round 2. And again, it was ruled from a punch, although our replays may show otherwise. And we firmly believe, at least I believe, and Teddy believes, that the only reason they let this fight go on was because the referee ruled it from a punch.
Hutchinson should be stepping it up here. Not just hanging in there. Not just surviving. Step it up. Because he's seen the worst of it already. He's got a man who's really killed himself to make weight. But guys, if anything, there's going to be less left in Gatti late in the fight. So take advantage of that.
Hutchinson hasn't done a lot in this round. And he's allowed himself to get tied up. 10th and final round still to come. Hutchinson still standing in front of Gatti. On the cuts of Arturo Gatti. Here in round 2. Late stages of round 2. Watch the heads come together. And you see Gatti grabbing that left eye. It was ruled, though, a punch that caused the cut by referee Michael Griffin. They went to the corner for the doctor to look at it, and the doctor allowed Lou Duva to work on the cut, which, Teddy, as far as I know, you're not allowed to do that, to have the guy work on the cut when the doctor's looking at it.
No, you're not. Most places, you're definitely not. Can't blame Lou Duva. He felt that he could get away with it. He's doing anything he can as a great cornerman to help his fighter. He can get away with it. He figures, hey, why not? Was Lou Duva and Duva Boxing has a show next week. Lou was telling us September 15th at JFK High School in Paterson. Back to the roots. Duva Boxing. Gatti real wide again there, Bob, but not paying a price. We wonder if Hutchinson is content right now to do what most people didn't think he would do, and that's not win. Let's go the timeout. Now you see how they're tying up inside? Now normally you'd say, hey, that's the right strategy from Mr. Hutchinson, the smaller guy. Gotta tie him up. Right now he needs to punch inside. He's got a guy that's wide with his punches, a guy who's winning the fight probably on our scorecards anyway. Hutchinson needs to do more than just be strategically sound. He needs to punch inside and try to win.
Gatti kind of just flailing away, trying for the big finish. And holding the ropes. Referee Michael Griffin's shirt. Blood stain. He looks like a butcher. All but Gatti's blood. And again, Hutchinson allowing the tie-up.
Well, win or lose, Hutchinson will, I think, probably wind up with another big fight after this. For stepping up in opposition and making a good account of himself.
Well, he's opening up a bit here. Last 40 seconds. Why not? He, by his own admission, he said he wasn't going to win a decision here in Montreal against Gatti.
You know, he had Gatti in trouble there a little bit. Losing all that weight, Bob. Don't underestimate how damaging that can be. That could be as damaging as punches.
Gatti just holding on. Can be saved by the bell in the final round.
Hutchinson, even though he's going to help his career here tonight by going the distance with Gatti, he's going to feel, I think after this, that he could have done more and maybe even won the fight. Maybe kick himself a little.
Well, a questionable low blow against Hutchinson and a questionable knockdown could be huge factors. Gatti's left eye a mess. Fans here in Montreal enjoyed it. We'll be back with the judges' cards when we return after this timeout. Calls. What a night here in Montreal. Willette Hilton will let a unanimous decision win. Gatti, Hutchinson go 10. Here are the total punch numbers. Gatti landed 175 power shots. Teddy Atlas's scorecard is as follows. 95-93 for Gatti. I had it 94-93 Gatti. For the judges' cards, here's our ring announcer, Christian Gauthier.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a good round of applause for these two warriors. Bonne main applaudissement, mesdames et messieurs, pour ces deux guerriers. Voici maintenant la décision des juges. Here is the judge's decision. Le juge Villégaré remet une carte de pointage de 98-93. Judge Villégaré scores this bout 98-93. Le juge de Carufel 99-92. Judge de Carufel scores it 99-92. Et le juge Leblanc 192. Judge Leblanc scores it 100-92 for the winner by unanimous decision. Le gagnant par décision unanime, Arturo.
Now, no surprise, Gatti won a decision, surprised by the scores. And remember, that cut on the left eye, they let it go when it was ruled it was from a punch and not a clash of heads. Hopefully, Teddy will be back in Montreal for Willette Hilton.
To weigh in at 141 pounds, one over the 140-pound limit. You can see that Gatti hit the scales at 141, although Gamache's people thought maybe he got a little help with the scale, and astonishingly, Gatti has put on 19 pounds in the 27 hours since the weigh-in. Yesterday, he'll enter the ring at 160 to only 146 for Joey Gamache. And Larry, therein lies one of the discrepancies of the modern sport.
But also an indication that Gatti had dehydrated too much in the recent days and rehydrated too much over the last day plus.
Punch stat numbers, Larry.
The key numbers here are Gatti's defensive numbers. He gets hit a lot. He eats leather the way some people eat French fries, and that makes him vulnerable to a pretty good fighter, Joey Gamache.
And rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Arturo Gatti Joey Gamache fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, non-title, using the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. And they're a little different, so listen up. The standing 8 count is in effect. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The doctor or the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 10th and final round. Jim.
All right, Harold, thank you very much. And here's a look at the veteran from Maine, Joey Gamache. 2 wins, 2 losses, as you see, in championship fights. 55 victories, as I mentioned. And Gamache points to the 3 losses on his record. The fighters Julio Cesar Chavez, Gussie Nazaroff, and Hector Lopez. And he says, hey, if you put those 3 losses on Gatti's record, they wouldn't look at all out of place. By that reasoning, he states and seems to believe that he should have a good chance to win the fight tonight. Let's see if he can fight as well as he talks about it.
Although he's just 33 years old, Jim, he has a 16-year-old son who is an amateur middleweight. Runs in the family. A grandfather was a fighter as well.
And in contrast to his opponent, a young 33 with no bad habits. The record, once again, 55 wins, 3 losses. The 38 knockouts, mostly against relatively anonymous opposition. He's won 10 straight and went directly to an HBO senior vice president to ask for this fight. That's what got him into position here. The performance that Arturo Gatti would like to mimic tonight is one he produced nearly 5 years ago here in Madison Square Garden, when he took the first title he won from Tracy Harris Patterson, and in doing so showed off his style at that time as a boxer puncher. Since then, he's become known as a brawler, and that's the pattern he'd like to reverse.
The reason being that bigger, better fighters have busted him open early in fights, making him fight from desperation. But boy, nobody ever fought better from desperation.
Gatti now back under the wing of the trainer who brought him to prominence, Hector Rocha. He says he believes that he doesn't get by with as much extracurricular fun training for Rocha as was the case for the main events team that trained him for a period of time. Lou Duva, Ronnie Shields, Roger Bloodworth, and their group. Arturo Gatti, 1 win, 3 losses in his last 4 fights, 30 wins, 4 losses, overall 25 KOs. For a 140-pound fighter, he's a big puncher, and since he enters the ring weighing 160, he ought to be. While you're watching the fight tonight, also log on to hbo.com/boxing, where you'll be able to score each round, chat with other boxing fans, and answer the question. Tonight's question, will Oscar De La Hoya rise back to the top of the welterweight division? Offer us your answer on that one, and then after tonight's fight, log on to chat all night with our boxing expert, Steve Farhood, at www.hbo.com/boxing. Now let's go into the ring for Michael Buffer and the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, where tonight, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present HBO World Championship Boxing, sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission Chairman Mel Southard. The 3 judges scoring this bout, assigned to ringside, they'll be scoring it on a 10-point must system. They are Don Ackerman, Ron McNair, and Luis Rivera. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Benjamin Estevez. And now the co-feature of the evening, this bout presented by Top Rank in association with Main Events, 10 rounds of boxing in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, trimmed with silver, and weighing in at an even 140 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 55 victories, 38 knockouts to his credit, with only 3 losses. He comes to us from Queens, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time world champion, Joey Gamache. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with blue, and weighing 141 pounds. His professional record, also outstanding, 30 victories, including 25 by knockout, with 4 losses. Fighting out of Jersey City, New Jersey, presenting the former junior lightweight champion of the world, Arturo Gatti.
Okay, man, I'm going to repeat my instructions. I want you to give me a nice clean match. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my command at all times. Touch up and good luck to both of you.
Arturo Gatti says confidently, I'm going to win my next 20 fights in a row. He's got an opponent who can make it difficult for him to win one in a row.
In your corner.
Gatti looked absolutely starched to the bone yesterday. It's a different look as he gets into the ring tonight with 19 pounds of hydration having been put into his body. Gamache says Gatti's lifestyle, the way he trains, the way he brings himself to a fight, must catch up to him as his career goes on. He says, hey, I may be older, but I know that I've taken better care of myself than Arturo has.
Gatti's starting out with a good jab, trying to find the range. Because Gamache is making certain that he keeps the distance for a few rounds.
Gamache sneaks in a left hook counter. And Gatti fires a right hand and a wide left to the body. The barometer on Gatti's commitment to going back to a boxing style will be how long is it before he dispenses with the jab? Because in his most exciting fights, Arturo has wasted very little time in getting into a toe-to-toe position, squaring his shoulders up and just trading shots with his opponents. But here you see Gatti doubling up on the jab, sticking it again. Gamache trying to pick his spots and flurry. When Gatti stops punching, there's a solid right-hand lead down the pipe by Gatti.
Gamache, he's ahead on the experience. He's been around for a long time, so he's not going to be intimidated by the moment. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to physically beat him up.
I'll tell you how long, George. In 1978, as a 12-year-old amateur, he fought on a card with Marvin Hagler, who was fighting professionally.
Well, and we haven't even mentioned that Gamache was born and raised in Lewiston, Maine, a name with its own colorful place in boxing history. And there's a knockdown by Gatti as he puts Gamache across the bottom rope with a minute still to go in the first.
Gamache is wobbly.
Hey, step to me, step to me.
And Thunder Gatti closes in, hoping to finish, and Gamache lands a blistering left hook. The left hook by Gamache momentarily stopped Gatti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gatti.
Oh, there's a big left hook by Gatti, and the body punch set it up. And Joey Gamache looks very wobbly now with 30 seconds still to go in the round. Three knockdown rule is in effect in New York State. One more knockdown and this will be over.
Hold on, you better hold on.
Gamache punching back, but giving Gatti a chance to land. Gamache almost went down. That would have been the end of it. And now Gatti's glove touches the canvas, but instead of rules of a slip, not a knockdown, looks like Gamache is going to make it out of the round. And Gatti landed one more left hook for good measure well after the bell sounded.
And Gamache staggers toward the wrong corner. And Gatti gets warned by the referee.
Relax. How you feel, champ? Good. You know where you're at? Yeah. Huh? You know, fight. All right. You know where you are? Yeah, you know where you're at. The Gatti fight. Okay. You can have a fight.
Set it up, remember, okay? Don't go crazy. Keep using your jab.
You get a chance to be asked.
Here's the first knockdown. This long right hand as Gatti moves backward, hitting him oddly on the right side of his face as he turned away. Still the first knockdown. This is usually the kind of action we see from Gatti in the last round of a fight, not the first round. And when the doctor asked Gamache if he knew where he was, he said, I'm in the garden. It's a Gatti fight.
Those were the right answers. Good enough to keep Gamache in the fight for the second round. Round one was huge for Gatti. 36 out of 73, 26 out of 43 power shots, several damaging left hooks.
This night is because of the reach. Gatti is able to land these right hands from a distance, even at hook for reaching.
He's also looked so much bigger than he does.
Yeah, and he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot, it's abundantly clear. Benji Esteves isn't going to bother with a count here, as Gamash's eyes were closed before he hit the canvas. This is the second time in 2 fights now that Gatti has come into the ring outweighing an opponent by between 15 and 20 pounds and has put the opponent away early. And for the second time, there is considerable concern about Gamache because of the way he went down.
His head may have hit the canvas pretty hard, but we see from here that he's lifting his head now. This is a very good win for Arturo Gatti. The last time he fought, it was against a no-hoper, as it turned out. Gamache is a legitimate fighter as Gatti tries to fight his way back into the picture now as a junior welterweight. Gamache now leans back on his head. He's being talked to by a doctor, but he is hurt.
Now, a lot of the boxers don't like these thick canvas, the way they got it with the padding on there, because they're not able to move and slide. But they've now made it regulations to make these things real soft. And by the way, you saw what happened to Gamache. He was able to hit his head, but at the same time, there was a lot of padding to make certain there's no permanent damage by it.
So you're happy the padding's there when you see a guy go down the way Gamache did.
Yeah, a lot of us, we don't like it. It wears your legs out over a long period of time in the ring if you're going to move around. But if you happen to fall on your head, thank goodness.
Yeah, well, we'll show you replays here in a minute as soon as we're relatively certain that Joey Gamache is going to be okay. Our primary concern right now as broadcasters is to be certain that Gamache is going to be able to come out of the ring in decent order, and that's what we'll be following for the next few moments. Meanwhile, medical personnel are right there. Gamache trying perhaps a little too hard to get up on his own power, and now you wonder when they're going to bring a gurney in and do this the right way. It'll be the second time in a row, last August 14 and now again tonight, that Arturo Gatti's opponent leaves the ring with medical supervision after Gatti was allowed to come into the ring more than 24 hours after the weigh-in and weighing nearly 20 pounds more than he had at the time of weighing in. This is going to become an issue in his future fights. But as for the blueprint, George, even though it was brief, Gatti boxed early, and that set up the opportunity for him to do damage.
Yeah, he actually caught him on the end of a lot of shots, and that's where it really hurts, when you get caught on the end of these shots. Like a boxer, he did good damage, but at the same time, he didn't have to brawl and get it.
Gatti's manager, Pat Lynch, came and leaned over the top rope and shouted excitedly to us, "We're back." Of course, in terms of fan interest, he was never gone. But as a competitive force, Arturo Gatti does indeed seem to be on the upswing. And as Joey Gamache begins to come around, we've got a chance to show you second round replays so you can see the conclusion of the fight. Right uppercut, and you see why we were worried about Joey Gamache, whose eyes were closed well before he hit the canvas. The uppercut was perfect, George.
And not only that, he's getting his whole body into it, like one of those home run hitters hit a baseball. You don't want to be hit like that from wide range. Stand way out there, nothing blocked. Everything is right on target.
So Arturo Gatti's punching power does a number on Joey Gamache in a round and a fraction.
Up, cross, boom. Classic finishing. Every shot. 1, 2, 3.
Three-punch combination.
Each one on target.
Well-thrown power shots by a well-balanced Arturo Gatti.
You'd like to think that a lot of fighters wouldn't like to be carried out on a stretcher, but there are times when, look, you got to say to yourself, I know I'm a man. Hey, I don't need to walk out on this one.
There's been talk about a Gatti matchup with Julio Cesar Chavez, and in terms of style, I think it would be pleasing for a lot of people to watch, but I wonder if Chavez, at his age and at his advanced state of boxing decrepitude, ought to be in the ring with a young lion like Gatti at this point.
What do you think, Judge?
Harold Letterman sitting over there shaking his head as if to say, I don't know. Might be entertaining.
He's scared.
And there's a look at Arturo. Sportsman, nice guy. He was disturbed at what happened to Reyes Munoz last August 14, and rather than to stick around and watch the main event on that show at Foxwoods in Connecticut, he went to the hospital to be certain that Munoz would be okay. I'm sure that his primary concern ever since referee Benji Esteves stepped in and ruled the end of the bout has been Gamache. He's sure that he's all right.
There weren't any cuts in this boxing match. Maybe it was too fast, but you would think punches were thrown, but he hasn't got any open cuts, which is a good sign.
No, that's a big night for Arturo. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Michael, they threw it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 41 seconds of round number 2. Following the knockdown, referee stops the contest. Your winner by knockout victory. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Arturo Thunder Gatti.
And now let's go up to Larry Mertzen in the ring with the winner.
All right, Jim, first let me report that Joey Gamache is up, walking around. The doctor asked him a series of questions, which he responded to correctly. He's drinking some water now. Seems to be all right. But Arturo, after congratulating you for the second straight time, you've had a little bit of a scare in the ring, haven't you, after Reyes Munoz?
Well, the first fight with Reyes Munoz was kind of scary, but he's all right. But Joey Gamache is fine now. He's up.
So you're feeling better?
I feel great.
All right. Tell us what you were trying to do in this fight and how it materialized that you got such a quick knockout.
Well, I trained very hard for this fight. I did everything my trainer Hector Roca told me to do. And I did, and everything worked out good.
You seemed bigger and stronger than him. Did you sense that immediately, that you could reach him and hurt him?
Well, after the first round, I knew right away I was much stronger than him. And like I did, I stuck the jab at him, and that's what opened the opportunity for me to knock him out.
Are you satisfied that you went about this in the way that you had hoped to, by being a boxer, puncher, rather than a brawler?
Well, definitely, it feels good to win in a knockout. It's my second fight back. I won in a knockout, and it feels good. Now I'm going out, and hopefully I can fight again in April.
What are your goals that are foreseeable right now?
Well, for me, it's to fight hopefully the 29th and in April, and hopefully fight for a world title in November.
Who would you like to fight?
Costa Zuf, if it's possible. at 140.
And you feel, coming up from 130 where you won your first title, you feel that you're strong enough to compete with the 140-pounders?
Definitely at 140, I feel great. And another 2-3 fights like this, I'll be ready for a world title.
Explain one thing to us. You said you had been in shape or close to this weight for some time, and yet you still put on 19 pounds in 27 hours. Do you have any idea why?
I have no idea, but it looks better. It's like I'm heavy, but that's not bloated. I don't feel bloated, and I was fast tonight. So it's a good 19 pounds.
Welcome back.
Championship fight, both weighing in at 130. Sanabria, when he was a world champion, was at 122 pounds as a junior featherweight, but he has fought several fights at 130, even 131. But both the same height, and the Gatti with a slight reach advantage. This is a USBA championship fight, so here are the
other officials assigned by USBA Supervisor Robert W. Lee Jr., your judges, Barbara Perez, Melvina Latham, and Tom Kazmarek. Introducing the principals. First in the red corner, he is wearing blue trunks with white lettering. He weighs in at 130 pounds even. His professional record, 20 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws, 11 knockouts. From San Felipe, Venezuela, here of the world, Jose Sanabria. And his opponent in the blue corner, the champion, he is wearing white trunks trimmed in blue. He also weighs in at 130 pounds. His professional record, 18 wins, only 1 loss, 16 knockouts from Jersey City, New Jersey. Here he is, the USCA junior lightweight champion, Arturo Gatti. Steve Smoker, your referee for 12 rounds.
I gave you instructions at the weigh-in. I want you to obey my commands at all times, respect the bell at all times, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Okay, let's go.
5 months ago, he was unranked. He was an underdog going in against the veteran Pete Talifaro. And 2 fights later, Arturo Gatti feels the feel of a champion. He looks across at a former world champion, Jose Sanabria from Venezuela. Gatti, a veteran of 53 rounds as a pro. Sanabria has fought 246 rounds as a professional in a career that goes back 10 years.
Veteran fighter. Keep your eye on Arturo Gatti. He says, I like to start fast. I sometimes catch my opponent sleeping.
Well, he has the numbers to support that one in the fight against Talifaro, who was the favorite going into that one. Talifaro goes down 3 times in the first round and is stopped by Gatti, and that delivered the USBA title to Arturo Gatti, just 22 years of age, originally from Montreal. His brother Joe, a junior middleweight contender, 4 years older than Arturo, who is now ranked number 4 by the IBF.
There it is. Arturo has 11 first-round KOs.
And he is going for it against Sanabria, pouring it on. Sanabria looks to be in trouble here in the first round. Overwhelmed by the flurry of punches by Thunder Arturo Gatti.
And that is where Thunder gets his nickname, because he says his punches make noise. And he gets that nickname. In the first round, he likes to start early. But you know what? In his last fight, I think a very defining fight for Gatti, because he was able to catch Salazar late in a fight. So many of these fighters that you see that come on the scene, they have a lot of early round knockouts. But what happens when they go past those first 3 rounds and they still knock people out? Gatti proved it last time out.
Well, and he felt stronger each and every round. At the end, had put Salazar down and broke his jaw. But Sanabria, the cagey veteran, he has seen it all. And looking to weather this thunderous storm in the first round. Gatti, the fast starter. Sanabria is in there for the long haul. And right now, seeing the best of Gatti in the first few minutes of the fight.
Yeah, and no hurry for Sanabria.
Sanabria has been stopped only once in his 33 fights, and that by Luis Espinosa. That was 3 years ago when he was down and stopped in the 6th round. Only time that Sanabria has been stopped, only time he has ever been down. He comes in with a solid chin and ring smarts to try to avoid the power of Gatti. Inside 30 seconds in the first. Before Gatti's 10-round victory over Salazar, he had knocked out 6 of his previous 7 opponents in the first. And he is going for it here, even though he says, listen, I'm going to throw it out there in the first round. I'm going to come out really strong, and happen to catch a guy and he falls, so be it. It's happened 11 times. Arturo Gatti has roared into the top 5. The IBF junior lightweights behind the champion, the guy he spars with, John Molina, and he is right behind Eddie Hobson. Wouldn't that be a great matchup? Hobson, the Energizer Bunny, against Gatti. Meanwhile, Gatti now ahead of such notables in the IBF rankings as Calvin Grove, who's number 6, Jesse James Aleja, who is number 7, and the great Azuma Nelson, who is still in the top 10 at number 8. So Arturo Gatti has made a mercurial rise in the junior lightweight class and trying to build on that here tonight.
Thunder. That's why. 16 KOs out of 18 wins.
He goes up against a world-class fighter in Sanabria, although Sanabria is 31. The question is whether he has certainly turned that corner. But Gatti says, you know, I've sparred with fighters that I think are better than Sanabria. Guys like John Molina, guys like Jesse James Leija, Jake the Snake Rodriguez, all champions or former champions. And you can even see that Gatti looks the bigger fighter than Jose Sanabria, who won the junior featherweight championship back in 1988. Made 4 defenses before losing to Fabrice Benichou, who he had beaten earlier in the defense. And since that time, over the course of the last 4 years, Sanabria has won 4, lost 7 with a draw. And the question is, the slide due to age, or that he is fighting perhaps over his best weight?
A little bit of both. Also, a lot of these fights that he has lost have been out of his country. He is from Venezuela. And a man that fights out of Venezuela, mostly in the United States, is going to fight away from home. Because a lot of those decisions he should not have lost. 10 losses out of his 30 fights. 33 fights. 20 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws.
He's had 2 fights over the course of the last year, losing both of those in decisions, but losing to former WBA champion Luis Mendoza, and also losing a close decision to former IBF champ Juan Polo Perez.
Right, top junior lightweight. Some of the best in the world that he's been in the ring with. He loses, but he makes good fights, and he's in there in the fight. And he usually goes the distance.
But hence also this great yardstick to tell Arturo Gatti exactly where he is.
Absolutely, but Gatti is not fighting Sanabria because Gatti thinks he'll lose. Gatti has a lot of confidence going into this fight.
Inside 10 seconds to go in the second, pace slowing down here in the second 3 minutes, and we will pause for a word from your local cable system.
Moore's Electronics, your radio set.
Al Albert along with the champ. Welcome to USA's Tuesday night fights tonight on the East Coast at the Meadowlands Convention Center. And we are now watching the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. The champ is in the white, the challenger is in the blue. Arturo Gatti, 18-1. He had won his first 6 pro fights, then went into Philadelphia in the backyard of veteran King Solomon. Gatti coming off the longest layoff in his young career of 6 months, and he lost a close decision, but since that time he's reeled off 12 wins, 11 by knockout, has ascended to the USBA junior lightweight throne, and looks to ascend even further to a possible world title shot. He has to get back by a former world champion now, and Jose Sanabria, 31-year-old Venezuelan, comes in with a record of 20-10-3 with 11 knockouts.
You talked about the King Solomon fight for Arturo Gatti. That fight in Philadelphia, extremely close. He said in that match, I did not fight my kind of fight. I was hesitating too much. After this fight, he says he changed trainers. In this fight, he hesitated in that second round. Between rounds, they wanted him to get back to that left jab, start dictating the pace.
Gatti coming up with those solid shots, though he misses. And he likes a guy to fight back, to come to him.
And he likes the advancing style. He likes facing that kind of style. When you are chasing down a man, it is more difficult to knock him out. First of all, you got to chase him down, then you have to set him up, corner him, set him up to knock him out. When he's running at you, many times he sets himself up to be knocked out.
That shot to the top of the head of Sanabria, and Gatti seeing a window of opportunity. You see Sanabria holding with the right arm the other side of referee Steve Smoger. But Smoger with a warning. Hard to pull something over on double S. And now Gatti digging to the body. Senses it here in the third round that he may have Sanabria hurt.
Things that you look for if you are a knockout artist, you look right in your opponent's face, look right into his eyes, and that'll tell you if it is time to turn up the tempo. If they can't stand the heat, they'll get out of the kitchen. You look into those eyes, and if your opponent is looking around or looking down or not concentrated, not focused, there's going to be a warning from Steve Smokers. He doesn't like the fighters to throw low blows. The punch from Gatti downstairs, too low.
Or did Sanabria in this case.
Television of the future? I've got it now.
5 on USA.
It's Tuesday night, and it's fight night on USA, and we have a USVA championship fight. The champ in the white, Arturo Gatti, comes in at 18-1, and the challenger in the blue, Jose Sanabria, former world champion, who hopes to use the young Gatti to catapult himself back into a championship picture.
And Sanabria is catching Gatti with the overhand right. See where Gatti's left hand is? He tries to sneak it out there to make it a little bit faster. He can push it out in front, and he uses it also to feint with that left jab, but he occasionally leaves himself open because of that. So there's a look at you from the swelling underneath that left eye for Gatti.
Gatti from Montreal, and yes, he was a former hockey player as a youngster. Played for about 7 years, started at the age of 10. Was a forward, had a few hat tricks in his day, and never got into a fight on the ice. Saved that for a win. And now Gatti moving in again. Sanabria punching back. And I think he may lose in an exchange like this if he keeps it up. Sanabria not known for his power, but standing right there, in with Gatti trying to slug it out.
Gatti's hockey career is probably why he's so tough as a boxer.
I'll see if we could take Sanabria into the corners
and put him on ice.
But now he's living in Jersey City. He's been here for about 3.5 years, and hence wearing the New Jersey Devils jersey coming in as opposed to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, good mix-up in the last minute from both of these two. And I think they both gained a little bit more respect for one another. No matter what you criticize, for a fighter like Gatti, who had so many first-round knockouts, a lot of criticism for him because everybody said he had no stamina. But I think he did a good job his last fight with Salazar, in answering those critics. Good punches from both men. Look how accurate this left hook is from Arturo Gatti. He says that is his best punch.
Well, the big test for Gatti was the last fight against Salazar because he went into the 10th round. And now he knows he can go 10. Knows what kind of a pace he felt strong each round.
Yeah. You never know until you actually do it in a fight. These fighters do it in the gym every day, but the fight is different.
My mom says you gave me your popcorn fish.
Keep in touch, kid.
Now, Brendan, wasted shots, accurate punching. Both fighters taking each other's power, but there is a pretty left hook from Arturo Gatti. Sanabria threw a nice little left hook of his own. Sanabria says his best punch is the right hand, the right cross.
And Charles, you've talked about many times when you see a fighter the stature of Sanabria that this is where the fight begins for him.
Right.
Part of his strategy is, as we saw in the first round, is get through that first round with an on-charging Gatti who is intent on stopping it right there in the first, and he has done so. And now he's taken it into round number 5.
So many of these young fighters really beat themselves. The way they do that is they come out with a lot to prove and a lot on their mind, and they come out and they try to force the knockout. They try to force the fight. Well, after about 3 rounds of this, the arms come down, the mouth comes open, and the young aspiring fighter loses his will to win.
This is a 20th pro fight for Gatti, and he's been this far into a 5th round on only 5 occasions. Crowd boxing for Arturo Gatti. Terrific first fight. Ivan Robinson barely pulling out a split decision over Juan de Crone. Fight that had this house going. And the house got into this fight in the first round, but now we're kind of coming down a little bit as the pace slowing down.
Yeah, and it may be because, remember in the third round where I said they both tasted one another's power? It may be here that they have picked up, they've gained new respect for one another. Now they're not.
The worst thing to happen in a boxing match. Gaining respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Why? But now they're not as interested in going in and throwing the punches. When you throw a punch, you commit yourself. You can reach your opponent with your fist, but you know what? He can also reach you. Good combination from Arturo Gatti. Nice 1, 2, 3. That's basic boxing. The jab, the right hand, and the left hook. Good double left hook from Gatti. Combination punches. How effective a left jab would be here for both fighters.
Well, the right hand of Sanabria, who is kind of finding a home. You can see the left cheekbone. Gatti getting swollen, might be close to being cut.
Goodyear announces 25 money to get the Sci-Fi Channel now.
22-year-old Arturo Gatti in the white trunks, making his second defense of the USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. A championship that has vaulted Gatti into the world rankings at number 4 by the IBF, right behind Eddie Hobson. He's trying to unload the strike this fifth round. And Sanabria coming back. Gatti checking the canvas for some reason. Sanabria couldn't take advantage. Oh, and now the exchange. Gatti back and forth he goes, but Sanabria stays right in front of him and continues to throw his punches. It intensifies here at the beginning of round 6. And right now it is the champ in the corner of Arturo Gatti. I believe champ is with Hector Roca. Champ?
Hector, that was a fast barrage. Did you want this to pick up that fast this late?
Gabriel is a very experienced fighter. We need to get experience. You know, the guy has good experience, and Arturo has to get the time to get to the fight.
I see you're changing his style, though. You want him moving more. Why?
Because Sanabria is a very experienced fighter, like you said, not right now. Arturo stay inside. The guy gets the better to him. Is that what I said?
Was this Sanabria's tactic to take this to the later round?
Yeah, we want to get in the later round, but Arturo has to make it work.
How about the next couple of rounds? You think Gatti has tasted his power and has some more respect for him?
No, Gatti really don't got no respect to him. I got the respect to the guy, so I want Arturo to be a little more smart.
Yeah, you're going to give more respect to Sanabria?
Yeah, but Arturo don't got no respect to him. Arturo fight with him.
Right. Are you going to change him at all now?
No, probably we have to fight. We want to fight with him.
Okay. Good luck over here, Hector. Back over to Al.
Arturo Gatti suffered his only defeat at the hands of King Solomon in Philadelphia. Hector Roca joined the corner of Gatti, and since that time he's won 12 in a row, 11 by knockout, but Gatti looks to be a little winded here. Sanabria just stays in front, does his thing, and hangs in there, taking everything that Gatti has to offer. 20 seconds to go in the 6th.
Yeah, I think, Al, you should keep me over there in that corner. Did you see how these two picked it up when I went over there to that corner?
And we'll try that at the start of the 7th.
Actually, you know, you see a change of style from Gatti now. Now he's trying to move more, but Sanabria walking right straight through him. Does he respect Gatti?
Right now, all tires are worth.
Oh, yeah, you can't run in this ring. You cannot hide. Look, Arturo Gatti goes back to the rope. He feels that rope on his back, and you know what? The only thing left to do is plant your feet and fight. Arturo Gatti is a fighter.
Slugfest proportion in the 6th round, and now we have number 7 ahead in a scheduled 10-round fight. But late in that 6th round, it appeared as if Gatti was maybe wearing some of those shots.
Perhaps wilting a bit. You know, and this is exactly what they wanted from Jose's corner.
Jose coming on with a nice 1-2 combination. And now you see that left cheekbone of Arturo Gatti little by little.
You know, when you have an experienced veteran like Jose Sanabria in there, he realizes he has 10 rounds to work with, or in this case, 12 rounds. He doesn't go out and spend everything in the first few rounds. He's got plenty of time to build up the swelling underneath the eye, or to build up a fight plan, to build up a lead.
I'm glad you corrected me. I was getting used to these 10-round fights. This indeed is a 12-rounder for the USBA title.
The title that Arturo Gatti owns. And a very important title, because it is a stepping stone to a world championship. And you can rest assured that world champions are watching in tonight.
Well, by winning the title, he has vaulted into the top 5. A spot that he covets and wants to go on the way up as opposed on the way down.
I won the USBA title, the lightweight championship, and I got more respect out of that than any of my other fights. And it was just a few fights later that I fought for a world title. World champions in the junior lightweight division. Genaro Hernandez, Gabriel Ruelas, John Molina, Rogelio Tour. The NABF champion is Eddie Hobson. Oh, big right hand. And that's the kind of punch that you can catch a veteran with, not a usual standard punch straight down the pike. You got to mix it up.
The right hand of Sanabria doing damage.
And look at the hand of Gatti down by his waist, especially that left hand.
You know, the word was that Sanabria has lost some speed with advancing age, but that quickness with the right hand and sneaking in there and scoring.
Yeah, you asked Arturo Gatti if he's lost any speed. You know, Hector Roca does not like this. He says that Arturo Gatti is too much of a macho type person. He'll stand in there and take 2 punches to give one of his own.
Gatti picks it up at the end of this round. Yeah, there are the Gatti supporters trying to lift him up. Next week on Tuesday Night Fights in Atlantic City, New Jersey, former champ Tracy Patterson against the giant killer Darryl Pinckney comes off his knockout victory over Junior Jones. And it's Pinckney and Patterson, and Sean throw out the records in this one next week. And in a couple of weeks, former heavyweight champ Tony Tops is back. And this time he faces the kind of guy you want to see him against, Sean, a guy who keeps on coming at you, Jimmy Thunder.
Yeah, not a William Morris. You got to have somebody that presses Tony Tops.
And also, very impressive, Bronco McCart on that card going up against Ian Garrett. Good matchup in Auburn Hills in a couple of weeks. And this one is getting better and better. Arturo Gatti in his toughest fight so far in his young career. Finding out what world champion means, former world champion, in front of the name of Jose Sanabria. And saying it is not time to give it up yet. At the age of 31, he knows the platform he is on tonight in front of a national TV audience, and his opportunity to try to get back into the fray after his career since losing the junior featherweight championship back in '89 has taken a slide as he's moved up in weight.
They're coming off 2 losses. The only win he's had in the last 4 fights was in October of '93 against Manuel Vázquez and Venezuela.
His last 2 losses against the former world champions, Luis Mendoza and Juan Polo Perez. Minute gone by in the 8th, it's scheduled for 12. The head of Sanabria strikes the chin of Gatti. Oh, boy.
And you know, these fighters like Sanabria, and I can see it. He's strong. Rocked is Gatti.
Toe-to-toe they go. Neither fighter giving up an inch. Sanabria against a vicious puncher, but he stays in front and returns the shot.
He lands with an overhand right on that eye, swelling underneath that left eye of Gatti. Again, good combination. That right on the eye.
Well, the initial question is, it's too early in Gatti's career to be facing a guy like Sanabria. Oh, Gatti rolling away.
Once again, he felt his back on the rope. He said, I've nowhere to run, I've got to fight.
But Sanabria just stands in front of him. And now it's Sanabria advancing, and Gatti with the back pedal.
Oh, yeah, remember that fourth round and that third round, how there was not very much going on? That was playing right into the hands of Jose Sanabria.
Sanabria sneaks in the left hand, a big 8th round for Jose Sanabria. And he has 4 rounds to go. Sanabria has gone 12 rounds on 4 occasions. He's even had a 15-round championship fight. 10 seconds left. And we will pause for a word from your local cable system. You're watching USA's Tuesday Night Fights.
Here's a look at some of that action. These are hard punches to your face that help you to lose your direction. Your head's knocked one way, and then it gets knocked the other way. You're not sure where your corner is. It gets knocked the other way. All of a sudden, you can't see your opponent. It gets knocked the other way, and then crack. Your opponent lowers the boom.
The tempo of this fight has changed. Jose Sanabria in the blue.